We've got Keshav Bhajanka also waiting by. Bye, have a good day. From CenturyPly. Keshav, good morning. Good to have you join us. Lots to discuss. To begin with, how has the demand been in this entire July to October work from home period with lockdowns and then localized lockdowns? How far are you now from your pre-COVID levels? What are you seeing in terms of a gradual recovery?
You see, like I had said last time as well, we had expected demand to be quite poor in Q2. We were looking at maybe a 50 to 60%, but I think we've ended Q2 at 85% plus. So I think that the recovery has been far stronger. It has taken us a little bit by surprise, to be honest. And I am expecting Q3 to be almost close to normalcy. So I think the resilience that the Indian people have shown has been superb.
Okay, so already heading back towards normalization, which is encouraging. During festive season, refurbishings, for example, is that a trend that you're witnessing? Is there a certain uptick that you're anticipating during the season itself?
So for us, actually, quarter 2 and quarter 4 are normally the best quarters of the year because a lot of the work, from the government sector happens in Q4 and a lot of the work from the private sector happens in Q2 just prior to Diwali because people like shifting in before Diwali. But having said that, we do expect a good Q3. And I think that compared to last year, the festive demand should be more or less on track. It should be similar to what we experienced last year.
Okay. Keshav, reports seem to suggest that ready-made furniture demand as well has gotten a boost due to the work from home concept now. How sustainable do you believe this demand is?
The per capita consumption of plywood, MDF, of all wood panel products in India is actually quite low if you compare it to most of the developed countries. And even if you compare it to some of the other developing countries, I know China can no longer be called a developing economy, but China's consumption, I believe, is more than 20 times that of India. So going forward, I definitely believe that there is going to be a growth in both in the ready-made furniture as well as in furniture that will be manufactured on site. So I don't see that as a challenge. I think that this is a trend that is going to continue. There's going to be a fast growth in both.
Keshav, if I look at the high frequency data which is coming from some of the real estate companies, Shobha Developers, Oberoi Realty, we got data out even from Brigade and other smaller companies. There seems to be uptick in volume. Do you think there is going to be a per capita jump in the home improvement and the housing market suddenly, whether it is work at home or the fact that we want to take care of our houses much more than what we did earlier? Do you see that this COVID crisis psychologically is going to change things for the home improvement market, whether that's Century or whether that is Kajaria or Serra or for that matter, any furnishing company?
Definitely. I think, this has been a real eye-opener. Before this, I think most people took their homes for granted, right? So now, since we have spent so much time at home, wherever there is scope to improve, there's a little more urgency to do that improvement. Because, what if there's another lockdown? What if there is another pandemic or something that disrupts our lives? So I think that, yes, definitely, there's going to be a little more focus on home improvement. And you see, when you look at more uptake in flats or in properties being bought, for us, the work starts after someone buys a house and starts converting that into a home. So I think that demand or that benefit, we will see maybe 6 months or a year down the line as compared to right now. But definitely, I believe that this improvement, this home improvement, increase in home improvement is here to last. It's going to be a trend that we see going forward. And I think that going forward, like you said, this uptick gives us a lot of confidence that things are going to be looking up and up.
Keshav, when one is investing in a stock, one is purely looking at free cash flow. So let's understand your free cash flows, how they would essentially change. Now that operating leverage and demand has made a comeback, what are your projections for FY21 and FY22 cash flows?
You see, we are practically debt-free. I think we have negligible debt on the book, and our free cash flow generation is very strong. So I think by the end of this year, we are practically going to be at zero. I think we have minimal debt right now, and we're going to be heading towards zero. There is one investment or one substantial investment that we are looking at, which is a new MDF unit that we will be coming up with in the next year and a half. But I think that will practically be financed through internal cash flows itself. So I think the cash flow generation is going to be very strong. A substantial part of it is going to be invested in the new plant. And I think going forward, you will see the free cash flow increasing quarter after quarter. Or the cash flow, operational cash flow increasing quarter after quarter.
Keshav, it is fairly clear that rural is recovering faster than urban, and that has been a case for your company. There's been a lot of focus of products as well that have been launched in this vein. What is the outlook in terms of your observations as to how you've seen the urban recovery lag rural?
True till about say an August, but from early September we have seen signs of recovery in metros as well. I think once metros are fully functional, it could be another 15 days, another 30 days, but it needs to happen. And I think once local trains start, once the metros start, and so on and so forth, that is going to be a big boost, because most of the artisans, most of the carpenters, contractors, they stay in a little, upcountry location, a little, how do I put it? They stay a little further away from the city. So for them, this mode of transportation becomes very important. Once this starts, I think for our segment, you will see a huge improvement in the metropolitan demand. And urban demand, I think going forward is going to recover. Rural demand, as you have said, has recovered faster. But I think now urban demand is going to start to pick up, and you will see that month after month.
And, what about the organized sector? With it being in a much better position than the unorganized, have you managed to now gain market share during this period?
I think our recovery has been much, much better than the unorganized sector. So that tells me that, yes, we have gained market share. As you know, during this tough time period, there isn't much data available from the market. It's quite haphazard. But yes, it does give me a sense that we have increased our market share.
Right, Keshav, we'll let you go on that note. Appreciate you taking the time out and just giving us a sense as to how business is shaping up, the demand recovery as well as outlook from the festive season.